differentiating what is the things that I should be doing that feels like it's really my path versus I'm looking out there at what some people are doing and I'm like, I should be doing that. And maybe an example of the tree is like I see an apple tree and I'm like, I'm supposed to make apples and I'm an orange tree all along, but I'm just trying so hard to make apples and like I'm making very shitty apples. They're basically warped and mutated oranges, you know?
Yes, I hear you on that one. And watch this, because I'm going to get super brass tacks and just give like exact things. Number one, success does not require that we look out the window, but it does require that we look in the mirror. And so sometimes the biggest issue that people have is that they're looking out the window. They're looking at their neighbors, right? They're not trusting that. And I'll give you an example of, you take off from LA, flying to New York, and halfway through, the pilot comes on and says, we hit some weather. We're going to need to stop in North Dakota. Now, to the personality, you go, oh my God, what am I doing in North Dakota? I'm trying to get to New York. New York is the goal. New York is the goal. And I'm so fixated on New York that I'm creating an unhappy vibration, right? And an unhappy journey will never produce a happy ending. Let's just get there, right? An unhappy journey will never produce a happy ending. But that aside, we stop in North Dakota. Now I get there and look around and it's awesome. And I have a conversation. And while we're waiting for the next flight, which is 2 days from now, I meet somebody and that person puts me in contact with another person. And then I end up dating his cousin or whatever the case may be. And all of a sudden I have an entire family and a new skill set that would have never occurred if I just went straight to New York. Now I get back on that flight and we start heading to New York again and it stops one more time. Come on, God. You know what I want. I want the thing, right? Now I'm going to side note this. You can't have what you want, but you may experience what you have. Now, this is going to land on 4 different levels. And I keep hitting you guys. We're doing mixed martial arts right now and I'm just jab, jab, crossing, right? So let this land. Anybody listening, you can't have what you want, but you may experience what you have. And I just said this differently a minute ago. An unhappy journey will never produce a happy ending. So we offer the vibration first. We offer the feeling tone first. We offer the state first, right? So the flight stops again. Come on, bro. Come on, God. Are you serious? And now I'm in Massachusetts, right? What the fuck am I doing in Massachusetts? And yet another skill set, another piece picked up, right? I'm an orange tree. I'm supposed to be an apple, right? But you're picking up stuff all the way. Then there's a moment where you get to New York and you go, oh my God, I see. Everything I just picked up, I needed to live here. Let it land. You can visit success, but to live in it, there's going to be some things you need to pick up. So your personality is going to want what it wants when it wants it. Just like the ego's a tricky bitch that'll never be satisfied. But the soul, threefold beings, body, mind, soul. The soul knows the truth. And so our job is to move as much out of the way. The best ability is availability. Move as much out of the way so we can be available for that unique direct calling daily. Yes, I bow my head and I move my feet. Action is required. One of the laws in the book is the law of fuck around and find out. Right? That is the law, right?
Yes.
Find out. Jump. I'm going to stop there, but you get where I'm going with this. You guys can get me hyped up in here, bro.
Okay, I'll definitely need a breakdown of that law because I love that statement. I always laugh about the memes around it. And, a couple things came up while you were talking. One of them is just because you brought up travel. I just had one of these travel issues right now where I was coming out from Costa Rica doing a retreat for one of my clients. We were supposed to fly to Atlanta. We thought the flight was at 4 at 1. We check and we're like, why do I have a ticket for 1:15? And we realized we're not going to make that flight. And I feel like this is a different interpretation of what you're saying, and I want to align it, which is we missed that flight, but we were able to find another one direct to LA. So instead of, we had a layover in Atlanta to go to LA, we skipped that flight, we missed it, we found a direct. And the way I looked at it was like, hey, maybe we would have had an issue at the border in Atlanta. And the reason this all messed up is because we don't know the consequence of what would have happened if we would have went through the original plan. And so I didn't pick up anything on this shorter flight. We had to take it at 1 a.m, but I try to set my mindset to realize like, hey, maybe this change prevented something that I would not have known. And there was a divine intervention. Now, there's a part of me, again, I'll bring it to the 3D because I like rationalizing spirituality. That's kind of a thing, but it's like just having that attitude. Does that make more of the water drip out the faucet? Is that a bit of a lesson that we're trying to take?
It actually does. It actually does. Because, you know, the universe does this thing where, and it's not just humans, right? The universe is looking for willing channels to pour through. So I garden, right? And the moment I place these plants in the ground, the laws, because people think it's luck. It's not luck, it's law. The laws of the universe go to work, right? Germination, everything starts to like do its thing. And all of the plants are reaching towards the sun, right? They're saying, hey, I'll flower, right? I'll create something where the bees can come. I'll send out a fragrance. I'll make it beautiful. I'll make it epic. I'll do my job, right? Everybody is right. And so when you don't, I'll go to the Bible with this one. There's a parable called the parable of the talents. And in the and I'm not a religious person, but I study a lot, right? A lot. I take life and I take nature and I take it all. There's a parable called the parable of the talents. And it essentially states that this master came and he gave 5 talents to one of his slaves. He gave 2 to another and 1 to another. And he said, all right, you guys go do your thing with these. The one with 5 went out, went to work, and came back with 10. The one with 2 went to work, came back with 4. The one with 1 said, I only have 1. And they got more. So I'm going to bury mine, right? And so he buried it in the sand and he hid it and he held tight. So the master came back and he said, hey, all right, what'd you guys do? And one of the 5 said, hey, I took 5 and I made it 10. The master said, thy good and faithful servant, you have been faithful over few. I shall make thee ruler over many. That's the lesson right there. The one with 2, he said, hey, what'd you do? The 2 said, man, I took 2 and I made it 4. Thank you. He said, thy good and faithful servant, thy have been faithful over few. I shall make thee ruler over many. Lesson. The one with 1 said, what'd you do with it? He said, man, you screwed me, right? Tom, Jack, Craig, everybody had more. So I just hid mine, right? Again, don't need to look out the window, but you definitely need to look in the mirror, right? He said, thy wicked servant, et cetera, because you didn't use it, I'm going to take yours and give it to the one with 10 now. That. You use what you got. You play the hand you were dealt like you actually genuinely, fully wanted it. Now I'm going to get super to the ground again here. I was a surf instructor 9.5 years ago. I live on 4 acres and have 3 different houses and 5 other ones I own. That didn't happen out of nowhere. What did I do? I did the stuff I'm teaching you and talking to you guys about. I stopped looking at being a surf instructor as, I'm just a surf instructor. And I started looking at it as a pit stop. This is North Dakota. What am I picking up here? If I can teach people how to surf, if I can break their psychology and their bodies and put them together and help them experience nature, if I can do this here, then I'd probably be able to do it at a high level. So I'm going to take this pit stop. This surf instructor doesn't look like it's connected to coaching and all that stuff. It totally is. Then I came out of that and I said, I'll put my hand up. I'll do free talks. I'll do anything and everything. And I just followed other people who were doing epic stuff. And you know what else I did? I got rid of all the things that weren't currently serving me. This is what we do in nature. You prune, you cut off the stuff so the energy can go to the healthy ones. So I call it elevation requires separation. So I made a list of all the things that weren't serving me, including talking to my dad often. So I called my dad and I said, hey, I'm on a mission. I'm going to do something big here. In order to do that, I got to stop talking to you for a while. I called my best friend, not just him, a crew. I said, hey, I know you guys go out all the time and you ask me to go out. Please stop asking me to go out. I'm not going anymore. I'm not drinking. I'm not doing any of those things. I'm on a mission. I got something to do. I'll be back. I love you guys. But I gotta separate. You know what else I did? Again, success doesn't require that you look in someone else's out the window, but you do look at yourself. I looked at this apartment I had that was $2,000 a month at the time. And this is, 10 years ago. And I said, do I really need this? The answer was no. So I got rid of the apartment and I moved in with my mom. I moved in with my mom for the sake of something bigger than myself. Again, you might find yourself in North Dakota. What am I doing with my mom? I'm 33 years old. I should not be with my mom at 33. Or, hell yes, I'm with my mom at 33. Let's freaking go. I'm on a mission. These are two different outlooks, right? One of them is doom and gloom. I say it all the time, prison or paradise. You have a choice in any given moment to choose prison or paradise. I chose paradise over and over and over again. I chose a stepping stone over a tombstone over and over and over again. Nothing was going to kill me. Nothing was going to take me out. Why? Because there was something handwritten on my soul that was for me to give. Hear me loud and clear. Jason, Marc Campbell, nobody else could have done this podcast but you. This was your fruit, amongst others. You said yes to your yes. You moved mountains. You did whatever it took to be a beacon, a light, a source for other people, and the fruit doesn't belong to you. Will you benefit from having a healthy tree? Fuck yes. Will I benefit from having a healthy tree? Absolutely. And if you met me in a Walmart bathroom, I would be just as giving, just as generous, just as loving as I was 10 years ago as I am right now. Nothing changed. The money amplified who I already was.
Thank you so much for listening to the Selling with Love podcast. We have some previous episodes you can tune into right here. And if you prefer the short form content where you get to the point in under 10 minutes, we do have a ton of clips from our best episodes that are being shared on this channel as well. So pick which one supports you the most. And of course, thank you for liking, subscribing, and of course, selling with love.